Important your maintenance.
Don't do it.
Now, about your bladder habits. Just in case, peeing can be anything. It's not just leaving the house. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I do that to my kids. And I learned that as a kid, and I did too. And I don't think you realize how much it happens until you start to pay attention to it. So here's where I think about the kid thing. I try not to have my kids do it unless it's a situation where I know we really can't go to the bathroom. So if I know we're going to be on a long car ride, yes, of course there will be stops, but we probably will have them go to the bathroom before that. Here's another example. You start to learn your kid. So every Sunday after church, I would ask William if he had to go to the bathroom, and he would say no. I said, okay. And then we'd be in the car, and it's about a 20-minute drive. And 2 minutes into the car ride, he's like, I have to go, and I have to go so bad. So we know that he hasn't gone for at least 2.5, maybe 3 hours. And so then we will prompt him and just say, no, you need to go. For an adult, normal voiding is every 2 to 3 hours. Now, also, we can... For an adult, normal voiding is every 2 to 3 hours. Now, also, we can use some rational thinking. And if you're someone like me, who gets up and has a ton of coffee, and then you work out and you're drinking water during that, and then you have a smoothie, we know that our volume load is going to be way higher. And so you'll probably go more than that. The point is not to withhold your urine, but to make sure that you are storing and allowing that bladder to stretch as it can. Because otherwise, you end up in those patterns of going multiple times or having anxiety. And just know that when we have anxiety, we upregulate tension. That tension can make the urge seem even more intense, and so on and so forth. So it's like a self-perpetuating thing that starts to happen. And if we just create a little more awareness, we can make a really big impact on it. How do you know if it's a full void? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, you count as you're peeing. And if it's at least 8 Mississippis long, we would say that is sufficient. And so if you're going and you're getting trickles, you should not be going. And also know this, the more you go, the less fluid, but also the more concentrated that fluid is, and thus more irritating to the lining of the bladder. So you can see how it can turn into a vicious cycle of the more you go, your bladder learns to stretch less, but also if we're not drinking other fluids and we're trying to restrict because we don't want to go, but we keep going, we create more concentration of urine, thus more acidic and irritating, and it just kind of continues on that cycle. So start small. Pick one time a day where you know you do it a lot. Try to cut one of those out. Do it someplace you're comfortable. Do it somewhere where you know you can get to the bathroom, and just see if you can slowly start to extend that time between going. And then I will share some ideas on how to control that urge and how to work through those things, and bladder irritants and all that good stuff that all go together into addressing this issue. Oh man, I am so excited. I just got off my live, and this is on my front doorstep from Remedy, which last week, if you missed it, my kids have all had a cold, and I was drinking all this vitamin C and elderberry and echinacea to try to fend off their boogers and coughs from getting to me. And I was drinking one of Remedy's drinks that had immune stuff in it. So they offered this deadly some, which is so nice of them, to try some flavors I haven't had. So if you've tried them, what's your favorite flavor? Let me know. But for example, here's their immunity. I was drinking elderberry, camu, echinacea, lion's mane, all of these awesome plant herbs, which I'm so into. And you guys know I like to talk about ashwagandha, and there's so many ways we can use plant herbs to affect stress, and we know that stress plays a role in our pelvic floor, so I'm really big on that. And love to have these little tonics that have all of those things. So I got half. What I was saying is I love that these little tonics have these herbal remedies in them. Maca, ashwagandha, those are great for stress. Those are things I've used for many years now. But I also love that it has protein because you guys know I'm a protein zealot. And I try to get it in at every meal or snack. So these are great because they have some of them have 16 to 12 grams of protein. It's a nice little midday tonic. So thank you so much, Remedy. I don't know where you guys can find them. I know I find them at my local health food store. So super grateful. Thank you so much. I will try new flavors and let you guys know what I think every day because this is so fun. Go read the comments on today's post. There's some really good ones, and I just always love when you guys report your lived experience.